Well, hello all, SP1959 here. I'm not doing an update today. In the last couple of updates, I've kind of highlighted the concrete that we put in around the different parts of the layout here around the office building, the shops, and the roundhouse. And I got a couple emails, I think three actually, wanting to know kind of my step-by-step process for how I put it down. So that's what I'm going to be demoing here today. Again, this is a way to do it. It's not the way to do it. There's a lot of different ways out there and a lot of different products, and I'll just kind of go through what I use. Today I'm going to be working on the roadway leading from the roundhouse area across the sand and fuel area into the car shop. And so I've laid it out in the red lines, and now it's time to put the forms on. And what I'm going to be using for the forms is a foam tape. You can buy it from Home Depot or Lowe's. 17 feet of it is about $5. It works great. It holds up plenty well. It's 5.2 mils thick, so it's exactly the right size you need. It's actually will also function as double-sided tape if that's what you need, and it's worked really great so far. I've done a lot of the layout with it, so I'm going to go ahead and get this formed out, and then we'll start talking about the concrete pour itself. Okay, so we have our form set, and now it's time to start putting down our concrete. And as I said, what I use is it's a sheetrock patch and repair compound. The reason I like it is it has some fiber in it, and it has some polymers in it that kind of help it hold together. If you want something a little stronger, they make a tape that you can put down that actually has some perforations in it. It's made of a polyester type material that kind of holds it down. So just begin spreading the mud in. Don't worry at this point about getting everything perfectly level. Just get your basic coat down. We'll come back later and work out the get a final level coat on it. But let's just get a coat down, and once we get that, then we can come back and begin to work it out. So go ahead and get this on. Work it into the corners set, and it will just start coming across. there we go. So we'll be back in 3 or 4 days, and we'll go on to the next step. As you can see up in the upper areas there, I've already completed, kind of roughed out our area for our sand and water complex. But so this is the basic first coat that we'll put on, and we'll go from there. So see you in a few. Okay, well, it's been 3 days. It's dried. It's very, very hard. A lot of cracks and expansions where moisture popped up through. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be a big deal once we get it finished. I noticed when I reviewed the first part of the tape that they didn't do a very good job of actually showing you what it is we're using, so I'll show it to you now. It's American Sheetrock patch and repair compound, and as I said, it has a lot of polymers and some fines in it, and it works really well. So what we're going to do now is start to prep the road bed for the finishing surface. And what I'm using here is it's a drywall sanding tool, using 80 grit paper that you get also in the drywall section, and it's just basically a Velcro kind of slap-on deal. But it's a big, wide surface base that will really give you, makes it really easy to make sure you got a really nice flat surface. So what we're going to do, leaving the formula on, we're just going to sand this down, and it'll come off fairly easy. Get everything kind of matched up below the grade. Okay, so as I said, it really doesn't take a whole lot to get that sanded down into a fairly level surface. And now we're going to start to put our finished surface on. And to do that, I'm using a different material than what we used before. This time I'm going to use wall joint compound, and this is basically the taping mud. DAP, again, you could use whatever your local Home Depot or whatever Lowe's has, but it dries fairly quickly. It dries really hard, and a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just give it a light mist of just regular water, and then we'll apply it. And then now we're going to start to want to be a little more conscientious about getting our finish down the way we want it, and make sure we have a really good finished surface. I'm going to start kind of at this end here. I'm not going to go all the way because I'm eventually going to take this roadway over the track, so I'm going to end it, start right here. But basically, we're just applying the mud, and we're going to be leveling it out as we go. And you could do this in a couple of lifts, actually, and it's probably not a bad idea. This stuff's going to dry fairly quickly. I'll be sanding this probably in about 2 hours. Dry, and we'll come back We'll see where we're at as far as we'll give another quick sand and finish up any last minute filling that we need to do, and see if we get this thing finished. Stand by. Okay, so we've got the plaster down. I've used the taping mud to fill in the big cracks and holes and unlevel areas, sanded it down with the 80 grit sandpaper. I wouldn't be too concerned with taking this down too smooth. You could get the taping compound down to a very, very smooth finish, but sometimes leaving some of those little swirls and ripples and cracks in there add a lot to the look of it. So now I'm going to take some Rust-Oleum flat black primer, and as the portion that I've got masked off here is going to be an asphalt, I'm going to go ahead and give this a coat of the black, and I'm going to go ahead and coat it, and I'll come back with a lighter wash after. And start to lighten it up, but you can see where the different types of plaster are causing it to dry in different ways that really do give it that asphalt kind of overlaid, maintenance look to it. So, but this coat here is primarily going to be for protection. This will seal that plastic, or seal it, and give us a good surface to work on. Okay, so I went ahead and got the road painted, put a light coat of wash on it. I'll have to put some more on it, but you can see right there to the right, I formed up another level, actually stepped up a level, and basically poured the concrete for the fueling and sanding area. And so you can see the asphalt goes up the side. There's a curb right in here. It actually steps up and then a concrete area. So I have our roadway, sanding, fueling for diesel, sand pit. There'll be a sand house there, and then a watering and sanding area for steam. So I'm going to go ahead and mask this off now. We'll get it painted, and then we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so I've got it masked off. What I'm going to be using is just a Rust-Oleum professional primer. It is basically a matte finish. It's not a gloss. It's not exactly flat, but it does turn out looking really good for concrete. So we'll give it a shot. And it really does absorb a lot in the first few coats. So don't be afraid to really put it on there. Clean the tracks real quick. So there we go. Put our first coat of primer on. Now the only thing I've got left to do is to go ahead and put the expansion joints in. I'm probably on this one going to do them about 20 feet apart, scale feet apart, running in this direction across the slabs, and then I'll shoot it with a coat of the satin sealer, and then that's pretty much it. We'll be ready to start putting the fuel racks up and putting the sanding facility in. So here we are. Here's another look at it, and you can see I've got it scribed now. Went back and repainted it over the lines. I'm gonna wait for everything to get good and dry. I've put the sheen on it, the satin finish on it, and so once it dries really good, then we'll put on we'll get the rails cleaned and get them tested and make sure everything's running. But I've already run a truck across them, and I know that the depth is good, and it's ready to go. So as I said, I don't know how clear this is going to be when you finally see it. You know, don't be afraid to have a cracked edge or a big scrape mark. This is a heavy industrial area. A lot of big heavy equipment moving around through here. Things drop, things fall, things get chipped. And so to me, it just kind of adds that realism of what we're trying to accomplish when we're building these things. So there you go.